Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and here's the headlines. Vietnam and US boost cooperation in war legacy settlement. 7th Vietnam-Cambodia Defense Policy Dialogue held. Party official receives US ambassador to Vietnam. During the business trip to the US on the morning of August the 6th local time or early morning of August the 7th Vietnam time, a working mission of the National Steering Committee 515 for search, collection and identification of martyrs remains led by its deputy head, Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương, Deputy Defense Minister, had a meeting with General Charles Flynn, Commander of the U.S. Army Pacific. The working mission also visited and worked with the U.S. Defense Prisoner of War on Missing in Action, POW-MIA, accounting agency. Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương thanked the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command in general and the U.S. Army Pacific in particular for advocating cooperation projects to overcome the post-war consequences in Vietnam, as well as supportive packages that contribute to improving the capacity of a number of forces of the Vietnam People's Army. General Charles Flynn highlighted the cooperation in overcoming the post-war consequences and defense relations as important pillars in the bilateral relationship of both countries. The cooperative activities between the two sides have always been promoted by senior leaders and the ministries of defense of the two countries. Most recently, the joint search in the waters of Nha Trang City, Khánh Hòa Province. At the working session with the U.S. Defense POW-MIA accounting agency, Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương vowed the Vietnamese Ministry of Defense high appreciation for this agency for supporting with information about fallen and missing Vietnamese soldiers during the war. Since 1994, U.S. organizations and individuals have provided information and documents to Vietnam, especially information about mass graves, helping Vietnam find nearly 1,000 martyrs' remains. Mr. Kelly McKee, director of the U.S. Defense POW-MIA accounting agency, emphasized that just 10 years after the end of the war, Vietnam had the first activities to support the U.S. in searching for soldiers missing in the war. At that time, nothing could force Vietnam to do this, but Vietnam did it with a noble humanitarian spirit. He also expressed his emotion at the assistance and friendliness of the local authorities and people of Vietnam when working with the U.S. search teams, even though many of them had relatives who were Vietnamese soldiers laid down during the war. On August the 7th in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, the 7th Vietnam-Cambodia Defense Policy Dialogue was held. Deputy Defense Minister Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến and Permanent Secretary of State at the Cambodian Defense Ministry, General Chai Saing-yun, co-chaired the event. At the event, the two sides discussed the world and regional situations and issues of mutual concern. Regarding maritime issues, General Chiến stressed that Vietnam advocates maintaining peace, stability, ensuring security, safety, freedom of navigation and aviation in the East Sea or South China Sea internationally, and resolving all disputes by peaceful means following international law. Regarding bilateral defense cooperation, the two sides noted that since the sixth dialogue held in April 2023, Vietnam-Cambodia defense cooperation has been implemented substantially and effectively, with many activities that helped promote the fine friendship between the two governments, militaries and peoples, notably delegation exchanges at all levels, human resource training, dialogue mechanism, especially the defense policy dialogue, borderline and marker management, the search and collection and repatriation of remains of Vietnamese volunteer soldiers and advisors who laid down their lives in Cambodia in wartime, and so on. In the coming time, the two sides will continue to effectively implement traditional cooperation areas, along with young officers' exchange and education for generations of soldiers of each country, especially young ones, about the history and importance of the friendly relationship between the people and militaries of the two countries. Concluding the dialogue, the two heads of delegations signed the minutes of the 7th Vietnam-Cambodia Defense Policy Dialogue. On August the 7th, upon receiving Vice Admiral Reup Dulinayan Adachi Jr., flag officer in command of the Philippines Navy, who is on a working visit in Vietnam, Lieutenant General Nguyen Trọng Bình, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, highly appreciated the recent developments of defense cooperation between Vietnam and the Philippines. Regarding the naval field, both sides have had effective and practical cooperation in naval consultations, friendly exchanges on Song Tu Dong and Song Tu Tay Islands, and coordination to assist fishermen in distress. Vice Admiral Reup Dulinayan Adachi Jr. agreed with General Binh on developing cooperative relations between both navies. General Binh proposed that in the coming time, both sides need to continue to effectively maintain existing cooperation mechanisms, expand cooperation on humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, increase information exchange, and promptly and effectively handle arising situations at sea. Vietnam's Air Defense and Air Force has a long tradition with resounding victories in the two national resistance wars against the French colonialist and the U.S. imperialist. In the current period, building and firmly protecting the socialist fatherland are two strategic tasks. This is the responsibility of the whole party, the people, the military and political system, of which the People's Armed Forces are the core, including the Air Defense Air Force Service. To fulfill this responsibility, building a comprehensively strong, revolutionary, regular, highly skilled and modern Air Defense Air Force Service is an extremely important requirement, requiring efforts of leaders at all levels, each officer and soldiers of the Air Defense Air Force Service. To clarify this issue, QPVN reporter had a talk with Major General Bùi Đức Hiền, second in command of the Air Defense Air Force Service. 2024 marks the 25th anniversary of the merging of the Air Defense and the Air Force into the Air Defense Air Force Service. Sir, could you share some outstanding achievements of the Air Defense Air Force Service? The service has always well completed central tasks, especially combat readiness training task, airspace management, and national flight management. The service has regularly and well promoted its advisory role to the Communist Party of Vietnam, State Central Military Commission, and Ministry of National Defense on building the Air Defense Force of the Ground Force, People's Air Defense Force, and the Air Force of the Whole Military. At the same time, it also well performs its mandate as an active and proactive force, helping people overcome the consequences of natural disaster, floods, search and rescue operations, disease prevention and control, and especially during COVID-19 pandemic. To build a modern Air Defense Air Force Service, first of all, we need to have modern people. So how is the training and human resource building of the Air Defense Air Force Service carried out? Upholding the thought of people's first, weapons later of President Ho Chi Minh, the Air Defense Air Force Service is one of the few forces that have been given priority to be modernized straightly. So, in addition to modernizing weapons and material, the service must build modern human resources. It means that education, training, and human resources development must be given top priority. We are focusing on developing high-quality human resources, considering this a breakthrough in resolutions of its party committees at all levels. We have deployed many measures, such as training and retraining for command and staff officers and technical staff at schools and academies, promoting domestic and international training cooperation, specializing in air defense and aeronautical engineering. The service also proactively enhances new equipment training on the spot, translations, document compilation, while organizing strict and stringent training with all new and improved equipment. Thank you, sir. Coming up next, party official receives U.S. ambassador to Vietnam. Training conference on external information and human rights work held. On August the 7th in Hanoi, head of the Central Commission of Information and Education Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa met with Mark Napper, the U.S. ambassador to Vietnam. Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa stressed that the U.S. is a strategically important partner and Vietnam-U.S. relations have entered a new and promising chapter. He hopes Ambassador Napper and the U.S. Embassy will continue to promote inter-party relations, enhancing mutual understanding and trust. Ambassador Napper noted that both countries' agencies are working closely to implement the joint statement to upgrade relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Both sides affirmed that the strong relationship is based on the aspirations of the two peoples and the vision and efforts of their leaders, historically and in modern time. The Vietnam-U.S. relationship is expected to drive prosperity and security in a key global region, fostering peace, stability, cooperation and sustainable development. On August the 7th in Hòa Bình, the party's Central Committee, Commission for Information and Education, and the government's Human Rights Steering Committee, in coordination with the Hòa Bình Provincial Party Committee, held a training conference on external information and human rights work. The conference addressed the main task and solutions in Government Resolution number 47 and Politburo Conclusion number 71, stressing the party and state's achievements in ensuring human rights in Vietnam and the future direction of human rights work, focusing on the external information work on human rights. Our entire party and people have achieved outstanding accomplishments in ensuring human rights, countering and fighting against false narratives. The 40 years of the party's reform have clearly shown economic, cultural and social achievements as the foundation for Vietnamese people to best exercise their human rights, aligning with the achievements of humanity that all nations strive towards. However, reports from provinces and cities identified some limitation in external information work which need addressing. The conference proposed solutions to raise awareness among officials and citizens of the importance of external information and promoting human rights to enhance the country's image and position. We need to focus on the following specific tasks. First, we need to continue to effectively implement Politburo Conclusion 57 on improving the quality and effectiveness of external information work in the new situation. Second, we have to proactively turn challenges into opportunities, leveraging favorable domestic and international conditions. Third, the quality of advisory work and close and coordinated actions among agencies must be ensured. Mobilizing all resources in terms of personnel, material and finance domestically and internationally is highlighted to serve the implementation of external information tasks, contributing to reaching the development goals set by the party's 13th National Congress. Recently, in Tokyo, Japan, the Vietnam IT Day 2024 took place with the theme Vietnam, a comprehensive IT partner for Japan's sustainable digital economy development. The event was co-organized by the Vietnam Software and IT Services Association, the Japan External Trade Organization, and the Japan Information Technology Services Industry Association under the auspices of the Ministry of Information and Communications of Vietnam. Attending the event were Minister of Information and Communications Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng, Vietnam's ambassador to Japan Phạm Quang Hiệu, representatives Vietnamese telecommunications and IT companies. On the Japanese side, there were representatives from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, digital enterprises, associations and universities. Minister Hùng highlighted that Vietnam's IT workforce is a major advantage, with approximately 1.5 million IT workers and nearly 700,000 engineers meeting Japan's IT human resource needs. He stressed that the bilateral cooperation can leverage each other's strength and attract highly skilled foreign professionals to Vietnam. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, over the past 3 months, Vietnam's tuna exports to the Republic of Korea have seen significant growth, reaching triple-digit percentages. Notably, in June, the export value to this market peaked at nearly $6 million, almost 6 times higher than the last same period. Overall, over the first half of this year, tuna export to South Korea reached over $14 million, a year-on-year increase of 144%. The Republic of Korea has become one of the top 10 markets importing the most tuna from Vietnam. This breakthrough is largely due to the competitive pricing of Vietnamese products. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.